Z, go down the right. Gus.
You stay here. You're not equipped for this because your name's Gus. 50th weapon seems very inappropriate for this kind of combat. It's like it's my mid-range SMG.
Everyone else has got like clips and stocks and braces and scopes, and he doesn't even have a silencer.
Hello and welcome to the Best and Worst Pictures podcast. I'm your host, Jake, and with me, as always, is my good co-host, Ian.
Yes, me.
And joining us, as per usual, is my other good, well, I guess he's good co-host, Mud. How you doing?
You really got to stop quantifying it like that, man.
Actually, there's a third guest to immediately interrupt your comeback. You see, we got Joquin from PotatoCast fame and glory on today. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Jake.
What is this show, you might ask? Well, every week the three of us, actually four of us now, sit down and watch and review a Best Picture winner and determine if it's one of the best or worst pictures as compared to the other ones. And this week, we're talking about the 16th Best Picture winner ever, which is, of course, Casablanca, the hit classic film. And to start us off, Mud has collected some fun facts, which Ian and I have not heard ahead of time. So, Mud, take it away.
Diving right into it, this film was released by Warner Brothers Pictures on November 26, 1942. But for general audiences, it was released on January 23rd, 1943. So I think this is the beginning of the classic Oscar bait strategy of releasing for 2 weeks in 2 theaters.
Yep.
Drumming up press and then releasing.
I hate that.
I hate that too.
It's terrible.
Yep.
But it happened.
Why would we want to see movies?
Nope, just delay it.
Yep. So anyways, let's talk about the scores for this film. Good across the board. 100% Metacritic. 8.5 out of 10 IMDb. 99% Rotten Tomato critics. 95% Rotten Tomato audience. But of course, there's one more critical score that I want to get into. Ian, you don't like this movie.
No, it's kind of boring, bland. It's not for me. It's been a couple years, so maybe I'll turn around on it, but from what I remember, it's not great.
Now, of course, we didn't just have Joquin in on a whim. Joquin, your thoughts on Casablanca?
I fucking love this movie, dude. I got some history with this movie. I watched it.
Don't spoil it too much.
I won't. I'll just say that I watched it in a film study class I took in high school. It was one of the first movies we watched, and I thought I was going to hate it, but, pleasantly surprised.
Back into it. The director is Michael Curtiz, and he was known for The Adventures of Robin Hood.
That also got nominated, didn't it?
Yep, and Yankee Doodle Dandy.
That got nominated last
Also got
year.
nominated,
Yes,
yep.
it was.
Nice.
In his lifetime, he directed partially or entirely 181 films.
What the fuck?
And again, just like the director last week, this guy is just a pioneer of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as for the cast, Humphrey Bogart is our lead actor.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
He was also in The Maltese Falcon.
Yep.
And fun fact, that's not a nickname. His legal name is Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought it was a nickname because I'm like, what kind of stupid fucking name
It's
is
Humphrey.
Humphrey Bogart?
Or like a pen name or something.
Yeah, like it just sounds like 40s nonsense. The leading lady of this film is Ingrid Bergman. She is also known for Gaslight, Anastasia, and Murder on the Orient Express, the 1974 version, all of which she won awards for acting in.
Nice.
Yep. And finally, the last actor I'm going to talk about is Claude Rains,
Whoa,
Yeah,
baby.
our guy.
Let's
known
get it.
for The Invisible Man,
Yeah.
The Adventures of Robin Hood, The Wolf Man, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's in a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting into the actual awards this film won, it won for Best Director and Best Screenplay.
Okay.
Okay.
For nominations, Bogart was nominated for Best Actor, but lost to Paul Lucas for Watch on the Rhine. Rains was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but lost to Charles Coburn for The More the Merrier.
Okay.
They were nominated for Best Cinematography Black and White, but lost to The Song of Bernadette. They lost to Arthur C. Miller, who actually won for last week's film.
Yes.
Or no, for How Green Was My Valley, I believe.
All good.
Sorry. Best Film Editing, they lost to Air Force. And Best Scoring of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture,
Two opposite scores, but okay.
The Song of Bernadette, which is different from Best Film Scoring, I guess. It had something to do with the win from 100 Men and a Lady, which had no official composer. They just used royalty-free music, and that won Best Score.
How do you win best score with royalty-free
Just
music?
classical music, basically.
That's funny.
Right?
Imagine if we just uploaded like a Bach symphony to a movie and then won best score.
Yeah.
It technically would be one of the best scores. So
The
there you go.
history of best scoring in these films is actually quite complicated, and I never noticed until this week because I was like, why is it like so like specific? And then I started looking into it, and I was like, that's really complicated.
That's why it's so specific. It's dumb.
Yeah. So as for the ceremony facts, Tom and Jerry won an award this year.
Like the show.
Yeah, the show. This was the last year until 2009 to have 10 Best Picture nominees.
Oh damn, that's true.
Yep. And one of the films, the Oxbow Incident, was the last film ever to just be nominated for Best Picture and nothing else. You know, those films that just are so great, but you can't really explain why, because it didn't win awards in anything else.
Yep.
Didn't you get nominated for anything else?
Nope.
Nope.
How was it supposed to win?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Well, it didn't.
that's wild.
And finally, this film, Casablanca, was neither the most nominated nor the most wins that night. Both of those honors go to The Song of Bernadette, with, I believe, 12 and 4 respectively.
Why aren't we watching that one?
We'll get into it, apparently.
What else got nominated for best picture?
For Whom the Bell Tolls, Heaven Can Wait, The Human Comedy, In Which We Serve, Madame Curie, The More the Merrier, The Oxbow Incident, The Song of Bernadette, and Watch on the Rhine.
Okay.
And finally, of course, our Mary Pickford fact. Pickford's first talkie was a 1929 film called Coquette, which she won the second ever award for Best Actress.
We love that. We love Mary Pickford.
Yeah, baby.
Yep,
You know what my favorite thing is too? She hated talkies.
she did. She said it would destroy cinema.
Yep, it's like putting lipstick on the V-list de Milo. Was
Yep.
her real quote.
That was her quote.
And then she won the second award.
That's
for
wild.
acting.
And then on top of that too, cinema has been very much advanced with audio editing, which is
I
its
agree.
own nomination. So there you go.
Yep, best sound.
Oh well.
You can take that and suck on it, Mary.
Been dead for like decades.
Rolling in her
We
grave
hate
right
Mary
now.
Pickford
We
in this
love
house.
Mary Pickford in this house.
Semi-relevant racist and founder of the Academy Awards, Mary Pickford. All right, that's enough about Mary. Let's get into Casa.
First of all, never enough about Mary, but we'll get into Casa anyway. And we just watched Casablanca, the hit film. How are we feeling?
Great.
We're feeling.
He's feeling.
I had a really good time.
I also had a really good time. That was
Same.
a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was,
Alright.
that was a good one.
Ian, your thoughts?
It's not as bad as I remember, but there are some things that I'm gonna talk about that you guys are probably gonna disagree with still.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to start with them, or do you want to get
yours,
into?
so we can viciously
Um,
attack you?
Well, I'm gonna start talk about the things that I like. I think most of the acting is pretty strong.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Yes.
I will say, however, on one of that in a little bit. I do want to talk about the things I liked first.
Okay.
Sam is great,
Yep.
and the music he plays slaps.
Mm-hmm.
I think the script is remotely strong. I think there's a little bit of, but I think for the most part the script is pretty strong. The music doesn't overpower anything. Edited, a little bit of editing faux pas, especially towards the
Oh, yeah,
beginning.
the editing in this movie's kind of bad.
Yeah.
I disagree.
There's a lot of awkward cuts.
There's
Yeah.
there's not a lot. There's only a couple.
I really like the editing. This movie cross-cut at integral points, which I have not seen many movies
It
do
also
at this time.
cut with him, like, raising his arm to him having the arm fully on the chest.
Yeah, welcome to
really-
movies. Black Klansman had that in 2018. Scenes were edited with a really strong flow and sometimes actually went with the music, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, there was a couple of faux pas, but I think overall it was fine.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, especially the
sure.
editing. I would go so far as to say that this should get a nomination for editing in that year.
It did. It lost.
Nomination's fine. It's something.
Better
It's
than
good to be
nothing.
nominated.
Remember the fun facts?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I talk real quick?
Yeah.
No.
Ian, are you done with your hatred of this film?
I didn't say anything
You didn't
negative.
We're
yet.
like 2 minutes
Yeah.
into the post-watch part.
Yeah, I didn't say any.
Yeah, Ian, you're so
I didn't say
negative.
anything negative. So.
All right. Well, I know, but like, all right. The cinematography is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There's some good camera angles.
There's a lot of scenes that they like utilize a couple things, like the scene where Rick is like drinking in the bar. You have half his face covered by shadow and the other half covered by light, and that that reflects that he doesn't really have a side in this war. He's impartial to it. He doesn't really care.
Yes.
Later on, there's like lines of shadows going across them to signify that they're like trapped in Casablanca, like jail bars.
Yeah, like jail bars.
It's a couple little things like that, and it was shot really, really well. It's really convincing.
Yeah.
So
No, I completely agree. I think there's some really good camera work in this film. I really think that the way that we kind of move throughout his bar is so good, especially at the beginning. It's just quickly cross-cutting between all these different groups, and you get the idea that like what we're hearing is one story of what's going on in Casablanca right now. There's so many other things. You got people, you got like people speaking Russian, people speaking Chinese. Like there's so many different factions in this allegedly neutral bar on the fucking west coast of Africa.
Yeah, it's a melting pot.
Yeah,
Right.
And it's so good. Like there's so much just like it's like a neutral ground in the middle of a war is such an interesting place to be.
Absolutely. And
Very
on
true.
top of that too, I feel like the structure of the movie, I don't know if it would be made like this today, because today an audience would watch this and go, oh wow, when's the next one? Because it ends so open-ended, just like that. You're expecting more after that,
When's
you know?
Casablanca 2?
Yeah, I said that at the end. I'm like, oh yeah, Casablanca's so good, you know.
Yeah, why isn't there a hit sequel?
I never knew that this is the movie where I think this is the beginning of A Beautiful Friendship came from.
No,
Same.
dude,
Oh, are we?
Same.
Can we just jump into that? This movie spawned like so many iconic lines.
Yeah.
This is the Quip movie.
Yes.
This is the original movie Go
movie.
Quip.
Movie Go Quip. Dude, I love the dialogue.
Half my notes here are basically just quips.
Oh my god, the dialogue's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
there's a lot
god,
of really-
when the prefect shuts down the casino, I'm appalled. I'm shocked to find out there's gambling in here. Here's your winnings, sir. Thank you. Everyone get out.
Yeah, it's genuinely funny. It's very well written.
Oh my god, I
written.
was laughing so hard at this
Dude,
film.
I love the writing. The dialogue is so good. It's snappy.
So snappy.
It's
Yep.
so snappy. And honestly, this is like, if you're writing a script, I think this is a great movie to watch as like a primer. Like, this is how you fucking do a script, baby. This is it.
If you're trying to write a character who's always calm in any situation, you need to look at Rick.
Yep.
Like, he was so funny, so charming. Like, this movie really nailed the thief with a heart of gold with Rick. Like, his character's so good.
And you still get to see him, grow as a character.
Oh, yeah, his character growth to the final part of the film, like, I legitimately was sitting there, I was like, there's no way this film, which has always been built up as one of the greatest of all time, is going to end with Rick sending Buddy to a concentration camp. But I was legitimately concerned that he was about to betray Laszlo.
Yep. The thing for me, I don't really have a lot to say, because when a movie is so good, you don't really have things to say about it. And I think that's what a movie should be trying to do.
No, that's fair.
Leave your audience with nothing to say about it. How was it? I don't know, good.
It was well, okay. I mean, we have been saying stuff about it, but you know
but
what I
there's
mean.
a lot of detail here to go over.
Yeah.
know?
I'm gonna kind of spoil it. All of my notes are positive.
Oh yeah, I don't have a single bad note about this.
I have a couple of things.
Yeah, I'm really interested to hear what
I
want to
hear it
felt
from Ian.
about
Go
this.
ahead.
Let's just let Ian talk for a bit.
I think Humphrey Bogart kind of whelmed me. I don't think he was fantastic.
You're wrong.
He's New
Let
York,
him
the
go.
man. I think he's too New York, the man. I think his character is interesting and has good interactions and dialogue with the people around him, but I think he's kind of boring as an actor. He has very, very just New York sound. He's very stoic, and I think that works for some parts, but it doesn't work for a couple others.
Can I speak to that actually?
Yeah.
I don't agree with you, but I completely see where you're coming from with that, because his character can come across kind of milk toast.
Yeah.
To use Mud's term from the previous episode.
Yeah.
Milk toast is such a good phrase.
It's a good phrase. Yeah, it comes across that way, and I totally understand that.
Yeah. He seems very, very like, you're New York, you know.
Yeah, whereas, like,
I'm walking here.
I
like,
see
the
your
whole
point,
time.
because like if you contrast him with like Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind, he's like wicked charming.
Yeah, Rhett Butler is the epitome of man.
Well,
No,
he does some stuff that no one should do.
Yes,
but
no,
that's
I
fine.
agree.
That's fine. Yeah. No, I totally see where you're coming from
Yeah.
in terms of acting. But I'll also say this might be the best acted movie so far in the Best Picture thon.
I think Gone with the Wind might have been stronger.
Maybe because that also had some fantastic acting.
I'll throw out either It Happened One Night,
Yep.
Mm.
or
that
You
was
Can't
really
Take
good
It
as well.
With You.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, they all three of these movies we're talking about have modern
Mutiny
feeling.
has a lot of really good acting too.
Yeah, they have modern feeling acting that I
Yeah.
feel like could hold up in a movie in 2020.
And this movie has mostly Claude Rains does a fantastic job. I only had compliments to write down about him.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he was fantastic.
And
Conrad
Ian and I
Veidt-
know him well. 'cause-
Conrad Veidt from The
Did a
Man Who
very good
Laughs in the
job.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari didn't even realize he was in this film.
Yep.
Dude, I said this before we started. I've never heard him speak. So when I heard voice from Conrad Veidt, I was like, "Whoa!" I didn't think that's what you sounded like at all.
Trippy.
That's
Yeah,
trippy
it was
as hell.
pretty cool. It was really cool to see him in a movie. He looked older because we saw him in a lot of stuff where he was super
But
young.
one
Yeah.
thing I've seen him in, which is one of my favorite films ever, was at this
1920.
point 23
Yep.
years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
So he's like old in this.
And the man
one.
who laughs was what, 27 or 29 or something?
Something late 20s like that.
23 years, that's how old I am currently.
Yeah, exactly.
My entire lifetime passed in between Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Casablanca.
Damn.
Can I chime in with something real quick?
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Okay. So the budget of this film, I kind of talked about it when we were watching it. I was right. This was a very low budget film, even for the time.
It does not feel it.
It's a $1 million budget, then $15 million budget when accounted for inflation. And I looked at Gone with the Wind's budget, which was
Gone for the wind.
it was basically $4 million budget back then.
Yeah.
So this movie had 1/4 the budget of Gone with the Wind, but it doesn't feel like it because they utilize everything they have.
I want to counter with Gone with the Wind has more set pieces
Yeah.
and other things, and
I-
it's 4 hours long.
I don't
That's-
think
yeah.
neither film looks cheap.
No.
Yeah.
I think for this it makes sense because most of the film is in his bar.
Yeah. Also, they reuse a lot of set pieces,
Yep.
but
Oh yeah.
doesn't really feel like it.
No. They did a good job of what they had, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Gone with the Wind is longer. It's in color. It's the length of a fucking mini series by modern day standards.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
God.
But
But,
yeah, this is actually, to contrast, this is a brisk watch.
Yeah, it was
at
very
one
fast.
point we
Yep.
paused the movie and it was over an hour in. I was like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, this movie's already almost over." I feel like we're
Yeah.
breezing along. I was amazed. I was like, "I don't want this to stop. This is so intriguing."
Almost felt like the pausing of the movie felt longer than the
Yeah.
movie
Well,
itself.
we did have to pause a couple times.
Yeah,
This
I
was
want to
not-
point out there was a pause point, and this actually flows really well into this. So the subtitles on the HBO Max app, when you watch it through the app, were
Suck.
awesome. No, I think they were great.
No,
they
weren't.
were the same subtitles. They still had
Right.
all the same
No,
issues.
No, but I think the timing of the subtitles lined up when people spoke better. Whereas we had to HDMI for the second half of the movie, and the HDMI to TV subtitles really sucked with the timing.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the second half. The subtitles were playing ahead of the dialogue.
Yeah, so like HDMI, yeah, kind of be careful out there. I'd
Yeah.
recommend using the app instead.
We had a lot of technical issues and other issues that made us pause the movie probably, I think, 4 to 5 times.
Right, but the
It was
reason I
not
say
our
that
cleanest view.
Right. The reason I say that is because subtitles directly beneath the character that's speaking on screen is very helpful, and I've only so far seen HBO Max do that. I don't know if anyone else has done that.
I know this is gonna sound crazy. I know for a fact they do that in Avengers Endgame.
Really?
In, the scene where Hawkeye's in Tokyo.
Are you talking about Disney Plus?
No, I'm talking about the movie.
The movie, like the Blu-ray
movie-
subtitles?
No, the movie in theaters, Endgame.
Oh, okay.
well,
Yeah, they did that for the movie in theaters.
In theaters, okay.
Yeah, but
Alright.
that's like in the video file itself. This is like captions are its own
That's
separate
fair,
software.
but that's also something they had to like go in and meticulously do.
right.
I don't think it's that hard, especially for a small little scene.
It's not hard. It's
Also,
not.
we're talking about subtitles here for this movie. When that had
Yeah, the best part of this film, subtitles.
you would not have subtitles, back in
theory.
1943
True,
when this movie
true.
came out.
Yeah, we watched
You'd have
subtitles.
some guy
yeah.
standing with cards on the edge of
Yeah.
the screen just...
If we're complaining about subtitles here out of anything, that should go to show you how
Well-
good this movie
well,
is.
I'll
Ian's
complain-
got some fucking
I'll
complaints.
complain about another thing.
Yeah,
And you guys want to hear me complain?
Dive
I
in,
want to hear
baby.
you complain.
I want to
hear
hear
you
you
go
be
in.
wrong. I love
So
hearing you be wrong.
I wasn't wrong on that first part. Jake conceded that I had a point.
That's 50%.
I don't believe that Ilsa still loved Rick at all in the second half of the movie. I really didn't. I know the movie sets it up to be that way, but it was like, oh, we spent 2 whole weeks together and I still love you. And oh, it was so over dramatic. And that's my other point. Over dramatic. There's a lot of over drama in this movie that I didn't
I
appreciate.
can see where you're coming from. I don't. Again,
I don't think
this-
it's to the movie's detriment. It's a
I-
drama.
Over drama ruins drama for me. Because the scene where she's like, oh, I'm in love with you, and then she cries and turns away. Fuck that. That's so garbage. No one does that.
Well, to kind of dance around that point a little bit, I wanted to say that this movie has some well-developed romance
Oh.
in an old movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this the first fucking time it happens?
No, strong female character.
I go with
Scarlet.
Scarlet, sure, but
Yeah.
No,
but
it
I'm
sucked.
talking about like a good romance between a man and like you don't understand. After 8 billion Universal monster movies, dude, they all have a terrible romance, and they get married after like 2 days.
Yep.
No, but they fall in love in 2 days. We spent like 2 weeks together. We're in love.
Okay, so they were to the thing before the starts of the movie. They were a thing, and then she locked out on him, and now he's been bitter since. And then the movie starts, and then she comes back, and like there's a plot or whatever. But because of that, they spend that time together, and he's like, you kind of walked out on me, fuck you. And she's like, but I still love you, blah, blah, blah. And she explains why, and she gets into why she had to leave. But then it ends with him telling her that she needs to leave. See, a shit tier movie like the 17th Mummy Universal movie would be like, oh, it's okay, let's fight the mummy and get married immediately after knowing you for like a little bit. Like, no, this movie does the right thing where he's like, no, you're going to regret it, not today, not tomorrow, but eventually you will.
I think Ilsa thinks she's still in love with him. It's like Scarlett. She thinks she's still in love with him, but she's really not.
Right, and dude, I
It's
love
a world.
that.
It's a complicated emotional web that she's navigating right now.
A shitty way to end this movie, and it would have ruined the entire movie for me, is if Laszlo went on the plane but she stayed.
Right.
That would have been awful.
That would have been
Right.
awful, and that probably would have been the norm at the time, though.
That's my point. Like, I
The
feel
hero's
like
got to end up with some cooch.
Yeah,
absolutely, you could have totally screwed the pooch. But by that same logic, I will contend this is one of the best endings to a Best Picture winner we've seen thus far.
Yep.
I mean, it does just kind of end, and
This is not just kind of.
Well,
No, there's a lot of build up, and I think
I'm-
it pays off perfectly.
I'm getting to it, Mud, because of how we're viewing modern day movies with, oh, we're going to be good friends. It ends feeling open-ended, and I understand it's not that for the story, but for like for my knowledge of modern cinema, him and Renault's friendship is like, oh, that's a sequel time. Like, so I'm not saying that it just ends, I probably worded it wrong, but it feels like it ends open-ended even though it kind of doesn't.
So modern day cinema ruined a part of this movie.
Yes.
I brought that up earlier more as like a kind of funny, interesting point. I don't think it detrimented the movie.
I don't know. I don't think it detriments the movie. I'm not.
I don't read that scene like that at all, and I watch modern cinema.
And if anything,
I'm
I
just
think
saying,
like
that's-
if they were to make a fucking 100 years later Casablanca 2,
Yeah.
I think I would probably be more interested to see that based on this movie. I'd be like, wow, hey, what would happen to those two? You know, what
You know,
interesting adventures
I
they had.
mean,
He got
like-
sent to a concentration camp and
Yeah,
died.
what a terrible fucking
Terrible.
movie.
It's the boy in the straight pajamas, but with him.
I think it's purposely left open ended.
Yes.
and I do like that.
Journey
it is.
isn't done.
Yes.
Like his story's not done, but that part is.
That's
Yeah.
the part of the story we're watching.
Yes.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
You know, you can leave off on a line like that and not like look at the audience and be like, "Yeah, that's right, bitch."
See,
Casablanca 2 next
a
year.
lot of movies do that, so that's like, as that thing, I was like, and then I was like, no, wait.
Well, what are you judging the movie about then?
I think the over drama and not believing their entire romance in the second half of the movie kind of bogs down how I feel about his interaction and how I feel about this, because I'm not saying, oh, the acting's bad. He's fine. It's not like he's garbage. I think he's just a little bland. He's very one note, a little bland.
Well, that's like his character though. He's very just straight laced. You know, he's sitting here like, what was that line he kept saying about
I don't stick my neck out for
yeah, I
anyone.
don't stick my neck out for
No,
anyone.
and
He's clearly trying to be like, it's like the Continental in John Wick. He's trying to be neutral ground for everybody.
Yeah, Sean still has stuff.
Another thing I would
know.
say about that is he's not trying to be vulnerable. We see him vulnerable at one point and
When he
how
drinks.
Yes.
and how down he is.
See, he still talked remotely the same.
He was I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, there's definitely a change in his cadence.
Yeah. I think there's more character depth here than you're actually
I'm not
giving the
saying
movie credit
character
for.
depth. I'm saying acting depth.
Emotional
'Cause
range, I
his-
still think he has
his
more
char-
emotional range.
it's like 1, 2, and 3 instead of like a 10 chord.
I think he's playing the role really well.
Understandable. That we can agree to disagree on that. I think I don't dislike his character. I think his character's actually really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the love thing between them works in the second half, but I understand what's going on and how he slowly becomes a quote quote revolutionary, as Renault called him later on in the movie. That being said, like I said, Claude Rains, best actor in the movie by tenfold. Like
Yeah,
he
he's great.
slaps.
Yes.
Him and I'd say Conrad. I think those two.
I think Ilsa did a really good job too.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did great.
Except the over dramatic scene in when they was like, "Oh, I still love you," turns away with one singular tear flowing down her face. Good job. But other than that scene, I think she's very, very well ranged.
Well, I was a much bigger fan of the acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the acting's great.
Even I can probably concede that Humphrey is probably the least powerful on screen of the actors. I think everyone
will
else acted
agree
around
with
him.
That in terms of like
Out of the mains, yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
really left an impact on me. I'll say yeah, but I wouldn't call his acting like limited though.
No, I think it's just very whelming. If you're thinking, oh, he's great, wrong. Good, maybe. I think like decent to whelming.
I'm thinking
is-
good, bordering great.
Personally, I think everybody did great, but you do have to pick a line somewhere like, okay, he's the worst out of this amazing bunch. You can say that.
Worst of the
Yeah,
best, yeah.
Worst
yeah.
of the
I will say he's worst of the best. In terms of the people on screen in this movie that are like
Yeah.
the 5 or 6 main
Someone's
people.
got to be number 10 on the top 10.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Fair.
But no, I think he was strong. I think he suited the movie well. And I think back to the other point, yeah, no, if the movie ended with them like getting together, like, oh, I think we should have our love be true and
I
all
think
this
this
stuff.
is the start of a beautiful relationship.
Yeah. I think that would probably bring the movie down significantly.
That's fair.
Just because like the tone and style of the movie makes me think it's going to cop out in the ending because I've seen 8 billion black and white movies that do that and it's really weak.
Yes.
And this one subverting that and doing the correct thing, which is no, you're going to feel sad about this and you're going to regret this. Like, wow, a fucking sane, logical character at the end of the movie doing something smart. Guy, really respected that. And I'm safe in saying this is the best ending to a best picture thus far.
Understandable.
So
Yeah, I can't think of a best picture that's ended better.
No,
From
a lot of them
everything-
actually end with the opposite.
From
They're like,
everything
I love
I've
you.
seen,
Yeah.
I will say Gone with the Wind has a very similar ending.
Similar, yeah.
Yes.
Not the same, but very,
Very similar.
No,
Hits
that
the
one's
same
that one's
beats.
more cathartic for Clark Gable's character
True.
for sure.
I'm
True.
still left going, why the fuck is Scarlett okay?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. I'll give you
Why
that,
isn't she
but
a
yeah.
broken, ruined mess? Because she's been a bitch for 4 hours.
Also, fun fact, Gone with the Wind probably my second favorite ending to a movie thus far we've seen. I guess I just love guys leaving their women. I don't know.
I actually think All Quiet's
Something you
probably
wanna
my
say,
second
Jake?
favorite.
Oh, All Quiet's
With
got a
Paul
great ending.
just being shot while he's trying to reach for the butterfly, and then that montage of all the soldiers marching away from the camera.
Yeah,
that's
no,
some powerful
that's
imagery.
a powerful ending too. I'm underselling that one. I wanted to mention that there are some real genuine laughs. Mud already touched on some, but
my God,
yeah,
this
there are
was so
some
funny.
great, funny moments that stand up like 100 years later almost. I'm shocked. I'm really I'm ecstatically impressed at how awesome this movie is.
I knew you'd like it. I was shocked when I heard you guys have never seen it before, besides Ian.
I was nervous because Ian and I's opinions line up. So when I heard that Ian really didn't like it very much, I was like, oh, well, maybe I won't like it very much. But no, this is a straight up Van Helsing as far as me and Ian's opinions because he hates that movie.
Even then, though,
bad.
Ian has he sounds like he's turned around.
No, yeah,
a
it's
little
definitely
bit.
not as bad as I remember.
It's because he doesn't want us to beat the shit.
No, it's not as bad as I
Three gets
remember.
one, Ian.
Again, I watched it, I think, for the first time when I was 17-ish. And then the second time I was 20, 21. So it's been
4 years.
5 years.
Been a grip.
Yeah, I never saw it. It just always kind of got skipped over in my film classes.
No,
or
that's fair.
I'll be honest, in some of those film classes, I didn't watch the film, but I do the writing about it.
Yeah.
I just look shit up. It's like, dude, I'm sorry. I have 5 classes. I don't have 2 hours to spare to watch this movie.
That's understandable.
Honestly, Mutt, I think this was one of the movies I did that for.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wrote about the chess scene at the opening because I watched the opening and I was like, chess, I can write about this shit. His knight's on the rim. It's not very strong on the rim.
I think I skipped it. I think I skipped it because I was like, oh, Casablanca. There's a million pieces I can source off the internet for
Yep.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I, like, peek behind the curtain, going to film school, and specifically, our classes were more film study rather than filmmaking, unfortunately.
But I do want to mention, because I did bring it up briefly as a joke, but yeah, there's chess in this movie for a little bit. I'm about to judge it on a chess level. Like I mentioned as a joke briefly.
The
Yeah, the
chess
knight
was
was...
kinda bad.
yeah, okay, so the knight was on the rim of the board. It's not very strong there. It can do like half as much things as it can do in the middle of the board. I don't know why Humphrey moved his or opponent's piece, because he played with himself, which is really weird. But he put his opponent's piece on the edge of the board, and it's like, are you trying to make yourself
Maybe
win
he's like,
easier?
my opponent sucks. He's going to put it here.
Yeah, haha, fuck you. I can do so much better if
Yeah.
he just sacrifices all his pieces. But yeah, the chess mostly was not a moved board, which is the same shit where it's like, oh, let's set up this scene. Let's just set up the board correctly and move like 3 whole things.
See, you know what you should do when you set up a chess scene? You should have the actors play for a little bit and then just go, all right, good, stop.
Stop in the mid game. Yeah, done.
Maybe that's what
it looks
happened.
real.
Can you imagine if me and Ian went off about monkeys and trains the way Jake goes off about chess in films where it's like, all right, stop the film. There's a Pacific Standard in this film. It's pulling a fucking cargo train.
All right, fine. You can talk about chess. Fucking,
There's a monkey in the film.
at the start of the movie.
The monkey's like the first shot
Yeah,
of the
like
film.
The first shot of the film, it's one of those little like Abu monkeys from
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a
Yeah, I
almost
don't
said
think it's
chinchilla. That's not a monkey.
Capuchin, but I think it's
Capuchin,
different.
that's what I
It's
wanted
different.
to say.
Ian, it was adorable.
It was very cute. It
Very
didn't have
good
the hat
monkey.
on though.
Yeah,
which
they
made
didn't
me
take
upset.
a train out of Casablanca. Zero.
By far and away, our most viewed video is the Speed Racer video. Ian said, "There's a monkey." 10. Before it ended, so Canon, you gave it a 10.
I did not.
He gave it a higher score than I did.
Yeah.
I gave it a 9.
No, but
Not part of dealer's choice though.
Back to Casablanca.
we talked about monkey.
We talked about monkey. There's some just good dialogue, like when
No, the script's dialogue is.
yeah, like when
Almost.
Rick's selling his bar and he's like, remember, Sam gets 25%, and the guy buying it's like, I know you only pay him 10%, but he's worth 25.
Yep.
Oh, another thing. He wouldn't sell Sam.
No.
That I think that was a very small little detail, but I very much
Well,
appreciated
Sam
that
went with him.
He wouldn't sell Sam down the
he
river.
went.
Yeah.
He went with him from France,
Yeah,
but
Sam went with him. He
Yeah.
was loyal the whole time.
He wasn't going to sell Sam out. Yeah, they're buddies.
yeah,
It's not.
you actually feel that.
Yeah.
His romance with Sam's better than his romance with Ilsa.
Oh, man.
Romance with freaking, is his name Renault at the
Yeah.
end?
no.
Yes.
Captain-
Yeah.
I
at the
think
end-
this is part of a beautiful relationship.
Well,
we're gonna go
Renault
kiss.
didn't Renault have some moments though?
Boy, did he. Oh
Yeah.
my god. he
Please
was
stop
so
getting
good.
people out of here. I would like coochie, Renault.
Dude, yeah, Renault. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that character. I
I'm
love all the
bringing a
characters.
blonde
really.
in. Please don't let her win.
Yeah.
Dude, that's literally a scene in this movie. It's
It's
I'm
so
so
funny.
appalled to find out there was gambling in here.
Renault, he's easily my favorite character.
He's
Sam.
I haven't gushed enough about him. He was on a Clark Gable level for me this movie. He was fantastic.
He's the comedy relief before comedy relief.
He
was
wasn't
really
even
a thing.
comedy relief because he had so many serious things. To
True.
know.
He's a great
You know what I
character.
mean? He's a technically a
He's a bad guy. He's on the villain
he's a
team.
yes, but actually no, because he's a double agent.
well,
True.
it's really
Because
funny.
at the end of the movie, when Conrad gets shot, he's like, "All right, boys, clean him up. Get up the usual suspects." He's not gonna fucking send.
Yeah,
Rick
but
to
then
prison.
him and Rick agree to escape together.
Vacation. He's leaving for a little bit just until it blows over.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's I think the little double agent on Renault's side. He's unscrupulous or inscrupulous as he put it himself. And I think his character. I really wish he was the main character because I really liked him.
I don't think he would have worked as
Yeah,
the
I
main
don't think it
character.
would have worked either.
I loved him so much.
You
He's
can
He's
love-
good, don't get me wrong, but he's a support. Like
Yeah.
this is Rick's story. The story's written. You know, it's not going to be as interesting if it's about this
Well, it's,
prefect.
I
who's-
think it's more. What the fuck's dude? Mr. Isla.
Oh, her husband.
Yeah.
Are you
Mr.
talking about
Isla.
Laszlo?
Laszlo, thank you. He could have been the main character for sure, because it's a lot about him, his rebellion, him trying to leave. Everything in the movie tied back towards him.
honestly, I will say, yeah, I think you could, but I still think Rick's the more compelling main character.
I think Rick is more of a vessel for this revolution.
If we have to talk weakest characters in this film, I think Laszlo might be one of them because he doesn't really have much. It's not his story. I understand that, and I don't even think he needs much. But if we're just talking, if we're laying out the facts, I think Laszlo might be like the least important character in this film.
I think he's the most important because without him, there's no conflict.
I will say this. I think what Joquin's trying to say is, like, in terms of, like, character depth, Laszlo's the most shallow.
Understandable.
But
because he's the revolutionary the whole time.
I
He
think
doesn't-
that's a product. I think that's a product of this being Rick's story, so we don't get to see a lot of Laszlo's perspective.
Yeah, and
whereas
I'm not
if you were to make Laszlo the main character, Rick would seem super shallow because he wouldn't be in the story.
Yes.
On
and I
top
wanna-
of the upside.
I want to be super clear, just real quick. That's not a problem I have with
Oh,
the film.
no. Laszlo serves his purpose.
Yes.
I also want to talk about something too, which is a massive, massive trope in movies where if a guy likes a girl, but the girl is with somebody, that somebody is usually either like an asshole or not in the movie.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah,
second
he
is
wasn't-
true here.
yeah, yep.
So he's not an asshole in this one. But if he were on screen, I feel like he would be written as mean to some extent to make the audience not like
he
him.
was mostly cooperative with Rick because he
Yeah.
was trying to get something from Rick.
Yeah.
So
I
he
think
would've been.
I think they probably play up more Rick and Laszlo as rivals and
Right.
stuff. I think if this film was made today, we'd probably see a scene of Laszlo trying to be underhanded to Rick.
Right.
Like maybe trying to manipulate him.
Yeah.
That way, at the end of the film, it seems more like a personal moral victory that Rick still helps him even though Laszlo was a douche to
Exactly.
him earlier.
'Cause that's
and
how
it kinda
storytelling
humbles
goes.
him. He's like, yeah, I could steal your bitch and leave you right now, but I'm not going to because I'm
Right.
such a fucking Chad.
Because that's how storytelling
You know?
works, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how that goes. And that's why, like, in this movie, I totally understand that he's kind of a non-presence, even though he's kind of integral to some extent.
He's a plot point.
He's
not-
an important plot point, but he's not really, like, there. And I
No.
think that's on purpose because we do not want to root for Island hooking up with her husband at the end, even though
Like,
she has to.
I mean, yeah, but like, can you imagine like her and Rick are having like that conversation in the bar when he's drunk and Laszlo walks in? He's like, "Where's my beautiful wife? Oh my god!"
That would have been terrible.
Right.
Yeah,
But, like,
it would have been awkward for all
think about it too.
parties.
Like if they portrayed Laszlo as like a really nice, charming, sympathetic guy with a lot of heart, and you latch onto him,
we wouldn't want to root for Rick because
you
then
wouldn't want
he's
to
a
root for
home
Rick.
wrecker.
Then he's a home wrecker.
See, at the beginning of the movie, Rick does seem like a dick too, though.
Yeah,
He's
but
very,
again,
very
that's just his-
spiteful. No, I'm just saying he seems very, very spiteful. Like with all the stuff, he even says
Yeah.
like himself. He's like, "Oh, fucking bitch, you left."
Yeah.
Yep.
He seems super duper spiteful, and
so-
he ends up coming around, obviously. But it seems like he's going to be that spiteful character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's very clear that what he's doing is an armor. It's a defense. 'Cause,
Yes.
like she broke his fucking heart,
Yeah.
and he knows that she will continue to break his fucking heart.
Yeah, after the whole 2 weeks, his heart was real broken.
Did it say it was 2 weeks?
They
said it was
we
2
had a
weeks.
couple weeks together, so I would assume 2 or 3.
Hey man, you know sometimes live fast, die young.
And it seemed like the 2 weeks they had together were very special.
Magical.
Very
Yeah.
magical 2 weeks.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but
But it's definitely a stretch to be like, oh, my whole heart, my whole world.
Okay, but imagine leaving the country because you knew someone was going to come with you, just for that person to then dip, and now you're stuck in
running a
this place.
sweet ass casino.
Yeah, but in a place that no one likes. Everybody wants to leave this place.
It's a past. Yeah, well, it's because it's neutral ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, I get it.
That'd be so funny. Man. My girl left me. Now I have this sweet fucking casino.
and a bitchin' musician who's loyal and doesn't ever
Right.
want to leave.
my fucking homie.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, would have maybe been interesting to see a scene of how Rick got like his bar, but
I don't think
it
that's
doesn't. It's not
important.
necessary.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
But that's why, like, oh my god, my modern mentality. Yeah, that could be developed in a sequel.
Oh God.
No,
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Nothing needs to be developed. The story's fine.
Real quick, I do want to mention that Madonna wanted Ashton Kutcher to do a remake,
Like direct
Wow.
or starring.
like Star. She was gonna
No.
play Island.
Isn't Madonna like 20 years older than Ashton?
That's not how you world build. You don't build a new fucking world. Just keep building. God damn it, whatever.
Or don't do either. 'Cause
Don't
this
do-
film's
this
fine
is-
as is.
I agree strongly with that.
A remake would be worse.
Every studio
Yes.
rejected it
Thank
for
God.
good reason.
Maybe because Ashton Kutcher would be a terrible Rick.
There was a
yes.
Can you
Oh my
imagine
God.
just like let's just like I love you. Well, damn, Jackie.
I can't control the Casablanca.
well,
I can't control the Nazis.
let me I can't control the weather. No, I need to get into this because fucking it was a rapper. Oh my god. Okay, Cuban Link, the rapper. His name is Cuban Link.
Who-
He wanted to write and star in a sequel to Scarface titled Son of Tony, where he would be the son of Tony Montana. That sounds so fucking terrible.
That sounds
It
like
turned-
It's like Dracula's daughter, Tony's son.
It turned me off to the idea of sequeling classics for like a year when I heard
A
that.
year.
news.
I'm still turned off to it.
classics in general.
Well, just because like,
Imagine if they made All Quiet on the Western Front 2.
why are you allowing a rapper to touch?
I don't want that
Scarface?
one because 2 means World War II.
Gone with the
And then
Wind.
suddenly it's about the Nazis.
Gone with the Wind 2.
Back with the wind.
Back in the Wind. And it's an 8-hour movie, but in black and white.
Oh,
Wind
In
comes
black
back.
and white to go full circle.
Zack Snyder directing.
Oh no!
Oh my
that
God.
sounds-
Zach, back with Zach.
dude, yeah.
Zack with the wind.
Let's combine fucking Southern revisionism with Zack Snyder's fucking Ayn Randian fucking monster fucking dick that he's just gonna pentafuck the script with.
That
And
sounds so good.
That sounds so bad.
my
Did you know Red
God.
Butler's Jesus?
Zack Snyder's Son of Tony Montana coming soon with Cuban Link.
I thought it was Montana, not Montana. But
We've strayed
Yeah.
pretty far from
no,
Casablanca.
like if you make a sequel to this movie, A, it's gonna suck PP. B,
Yes.
if you make a remake to this movie, it's
It's not gonna be as good.
PP. Oh my god, not
model-
as good. It's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be bad.
The only remake of this movie I'm okay with is the Looney Tunes rendition. Okay, it's the best Looney Tunes cartoon.
I
I'll
Alright,
stand by
alright.
that.
I don't believe you.
Why do we keep inviting Jokeman back?
He's great.
I
He has
just bust
Garfield.
in. What is this invite you're talking about?
I think we needed a super fan of Casablanca for this episode. Oh wow, there's there are 2 canceled sequels.
What?
Of course there are.
One
okay.
shortly after the movie and one from like the 2000s.
Can I have names?
Even I didn't know that.
Okay, so they were going to have Humphrey Bogart return for a sequel. This got canceled, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear it though.
But it was going to be titled Brazzaville because in the final scene,
Oh yes, they said they were going to go to Brazzaville.
They said they were
It's
gonna go
him
there.
and fucking Renault. That's exactly what I said.
it was literally the sequel. The one that my brain went, oh, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
That one was gonna be.
That was what they were gonna do.
Maybe
so
they
it
were.
is real logic.
But it never got produced. And then
Good.
the other one is in. Oh my god!
How bad is
Fucking in 2008.
Bad.
Oh no.
Oh,
Are
no.
you ready?
Super bad.
They wanted to produce a sequel featuring the search by Rick Blaine and Island's illegitimate son for the whereabouts of his biological father.
Yikes.
Thank
no,
God.
bad.
No, that sounds
No,
terrible.
that sounds even worse.
I might have been okay with the original sequel idea,
I agree.
but the fucking the search for Rick Blaine's son or whatever the fuck that was, no, burn it.
Also, not for nothing, but that direct sequel that we just talked about, the Brazzaville one, that would probably only work if it came out a couple years after Casablanca.
Yeah.
I don't think it.
Yeah, you
worked in
couldn't do it
2021.
now. You
Yeah,
couldn't
you
do
do
it
it now. What the hell?
Oh,
Imagine in theaters seeing
Casablanca 2.
I like how Mud made fun of me. Like, that's not how they think at all. But it was.
it's literally exactly how they thought.
Dude, imagine like 2021 Casablanca 2 Brazzaville. It's like real time after
They got the
end
corpse of
Casablanca.
Humphrey Bogart.
skeleton.
No, it's a deep fake. They digitally de-aged
Oh
him.
no!
Isn't there a movie coming out with James Dean in the lead?
That got hard canceled
Thank
after
God.
internet.
That's so stupid.
That got, dude,
Oh.
the
That's
internet
scummy.
blew up.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you
I
should
didn't
be
like the
using.
implications of that.
I don't think
very
you should
bad.
be using any actors
Okay,
after they're
when
dead.
they did it for Grand Milf Tarkin in Rogue
Grand
One,
Milf?
Grand Moff?
his estate was like, he would have liked this. Like,
Yeah.
yes, this
you get
is
the
okay.
you get the consent of the estate, and it should only be for characters they've already played.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He said it's
Yes.
he literally went. They were like, it's okay.
He
like, I
rose
don't
from the
have a
grave
problem
and
with
said,
that.
"Yo, it's cool."
Okay, we are so removed
Moff
from
Tarkin-
Casablanca right
Moff
now.
Tarkin looked
I'm gonna
flawless.
finish off. Moff Tarkin just looked like he was really sweaty.
Yeah, he looked almost flawed. It looked really good actually.
It looked like current generation console CG.
It convinced me
It-
because in the theater I forgot he was dead. So that was like fucking 5-6 years ago at this point. I don't
Yeah.
even remember.
All right.
But, yeah,
I think at this point we need to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
we should.
yeah.
we
Sweet.
should.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we get into our out of 10s?
I will go last.
Okay.
Should I go-
I'm.
should- oh,
Joe, can you go first?
Yeah.
Special
Let's
guest.
do it. Let's get a special guest go
I'll
first.
just go. I'll go right off the bat. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is a 9.
Okay.
I have a strict no movie can be a 10 policy.
You're a bitch. With that said, 9.
Yeah. All right.
Slapped.
I'm trying to think of anything I didn't like.
9 to further shame Ian.
Well, no,
Ian sounds like he's. If
I'm
I had to
literally.
guess, I'll give it a
I'm
7.
thinking back to this movie. I'm looking over all of my notes, and I don't think I have something negative to say about it. So, I think I have to give it a 10. This is
fair.
a fucking.
No movie's a 10, Jake.
That's
That
not
joke
true.
one said
No.
so.
Hey.
Movies are absolutely. The Matrix exists, dog. But
Okay. 5.
Did you just give The Matrix a 5?
Anyways, Ian, what's your
Whoa.
score?
That's
Whoa,
a
hold
fighting
on.
word.
Give The Matrix a 5?
Ian, what's your
Whoa.
score before I die, Ian?
You're
What
about
is
to
your
die,
score?
No,
dog.
I'm gonna be part of the one killing you. The Matrix is a 10.
Murder
Uh-oh.
time.
All right, I've killed Joke. When Ian, give it your score.
So, all right, Jokum was right. I'm giving it a 7.
Now he knows. Jokeman from Beyond the Grave, your thoughts. Thank you.
No, I think overall, because before I would have given it a 5. By the way,
Damn.
kind of boring, but it's
Damn.
fine. I think it's definitely better than I remember because the script is very, very strong. Most of the acting is very, very good. I do have my issues. Obviously, I've voiced them over here, but overall, it's good. Not great. I would put it right under that. Like 8 is. Oh, I'd watch this movie again, like a ton. I'd probably watch this again. I wouldn't be like, oh, if it was on. I'm not gonna fucking complain, but like I wouldn't super actively go out of my way to watch it.
Okay.
Worth a rewatch, but I'm not gonna go super out of my way for it.
So my favorite movie,
That's The Matrix 3.
my favorite movie,
I would murder myself.
my favorite movie that we've watched so far is Casablanca, and my least favorite is Gone with the Wind.
My favorite so far is Casablanca, and my least favorite's Cavalcade.
Same, Casablanca and Cavalcade.
Mutiny on the Bounty is still the best one because it's boats.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Cavalcade's the
second.
worst one.
Ian, how do you feel about that, buddy? We're both like, hi at Casablanca.
I don't give a fuck about your opinions.
I'm
kidding. I care about your opinion.
I don't give a fuck about you.
We do this whole show together. Yo, I do not fucking care about your opinion, dog.
I mean,
Worthless to me.
I only
understand-
care about your opinion when it's aligned with my
No,
opinion.
we all rated the movie positively.
Oh my god.
I just didn't rate it as positively. I completely understand where you guys are coming from.
So
That
Jake,
being said, not a big romance guy, so some of it gets lost on me.
with all that said,
With
what's
all
next
of
week?
that glory said,
Next week's is gonna be bad.
next week is the 17th Best Picture winner ever, which is of course 1944's hit film, Going My Way.
Never heard of it.
What's this one?
Joaquin, thank you. Would you like to plug?
You've heard me enough. Potato Cast.
It's
Yeah.
on Potato Cast. It's the best podcast.
Link in the description.
It's the second best
Yeah.
podcast of all time.
We did a guest episode where we talked about video games
Yes.
and movie trivia because that's
Yeah.
all of our personality.
That's
Very
not
true.
true. That's a lie. Your mom is lying to you.
Ian, you
very
don't like
true.
Casablanca, you don't get to speak.
Wow, I didn't give it a 9. That means I hate it.
See you all next week.
Everybody take 2 steps forward.
And now 1 step back. Now crisscross.
Freeze!
Now everybody, clap your hands. Straight out of the carton.
Crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
No.
I don't think I've ever related to a character harder than a man checking his phone while drinking milk straight out of the carton.
What are you doing right now?
I'm on Tinder drinking milk. What are you doing, wife?
You smell like a stripper.
Of course, I was at work.
It's funny because I got this text.
It's not what it looks like.
It is not what it looks like.
How could it be literally anything else than what it looks like?
He was working. It's not what it looks like.
Are you encouraging cheating in?
No, but he's not even trying to lie.
Ian's a serial cheater.
Yeah, I cheat on my left hand with my right hand sometimes. Oh boy. What do you think 50 Cent's gonna do with his share of the money?
He can finally be a full dollar.
Alternatively, he can open up his own candy shop.